they were forgotten and abandoned by time. But thanks to you and all your comments, they're back. I'm Walt the Animatronic Duck, and today we're exploring Lost Media Animatronics Part 3. We're going to see everything from super rare pieces to really weird animatronics, and even show never-before-seen footage of these lost animatronics. But before we start, I want to ask you something. What video do you want next? My lore video or another submechanophobia video? Comment lore or submechanophobia, and if this video hits 1,000 likes, whichever one reaches 100 comments first will be our next video. Chaos Dragon, Opryland, USA. There are only 2 known photos of this dragon, or at least that's what people thought. In Nashville, Tennessee, shout out to all my ducks in Nashville. Yes, I'll keep sending love to every place we mention. There used to be a park called Opryland, USA, focused on thrill rides. One of them was a very strange coaster called Chaos. Chaos was a spiral roller coaster with a long train that could hold around 40 riders, all in single seats. But the weird part wasn't the track, it was what was inside. When the coaster first opened, right before the first drop, you'd come face to face with this animatronic called Leslie. And honestly, I have no idea what Leslie is supposed to be. Is it an alien? A creature? A deformed bear? Tell me in the comments, what the heck do you think this thing is? After some time, Leslie was removed and replaced with a green dragon animatronic. According to reports, this dragon breathed, moved, and blew air at the riders. The design is really unsettling. Because of its eyes and the kind of damage it has, it looks super worn out and kind of cursed. For years, these were the only photos anyone had. But recently, the animatronic community reached out to Amy Slade, the person who designed the alien, and she sent new photos that are now being shown on YouTube for the very first time. Now we can finally see the design and scale of this thing much better, but we would love to see video of this animatronic. We're sure someone out there has it. If you know anything or you have old footage, please email me at waltanimatronic@gmail.com. You can also send fan art and suggestions there. I read and reply to all your emails. Let's keep going. Alien encounter. Lost test footage. This animatronic itself isn't lost media or anything like that, but what you're about to see was lost for a very long time. This is recently uncovered test footage of the alien from Alien Encounter. It's an absolutely extraordinary clip, and it was brought to light thanks to Punk Rock. Go check out their channel in the description. For the first time ever, we can clearly see the alien animatronic in full detail during its tests. What's wild is just how advanced and fluid this thing is. It looks very much like an A100 level figure. You can see that this alien was practically capable of moving everything. The jaw, the neck, the arms, and even subtle body motions. And that's not all. In this footage, we also get to see test runs of Skippy, and it really reminds you just how incredible these animatronics were. It's honestly one of the discoveries that has excited me the most since we started this channel, and I'm so happy I get to share it with you today. It's a real shame that these figures are no longer with us, but at least we have this footage, and I was lucky enough to experience them live back in the day. Did you ever get to experience Alien Encounter in person? Rugrats puppet animatronics. What you're seeing here is really weird and super rare. These are some Rugrats puppet animatronics used in a live show at Universal Studios Hollywood called Totally Nickelodeon, which ran from 1997 to 2000. The show was your classic 90s Nick live show. Audience games, jokes, and of course, green slime. At one point in the show, we could see Tommy and Chucky sitting in director-style chairs. They waved to the audience and said they had lost Spike, which was the setup to introduce one of the audience games. The puppets were very simple. They were stuck to their chairs and only moved their mouths, but the designs were actually very faithful to the cartoon characters. What makes this so crazy is that, as far as we know, this is the only footage that exists of these animatronic puppets. No one knows who built them, and nobody knows what happened to them after the show closed. If you have any information, leave a comment below or send us an email. Gus Puppy Update! Do you remember Gus, the missing puppy animatronic made by VP Animation that used to be at Stu Leonard's? Well, we have news. We finally found video footage of him, thanks to our subscriber Ismail, who managed to track down this clip of Gus actually moving. Hopefully we can find even more footage of this animatronic in the future, but for now, this is already a huge discovery. Hoovleet market clowns. These animatronics are officially lost media, and they almost disappeared completely. But thanks to our subscriber David, they were saved from oblivion. These are the clown animatronics that used to be in Hoovleet Market in the Netherlands. Big hugs to all our Dutch ducks. They were there from the 90s until around 2010 when they were removed. They worked very simply. You pressed a button and the clowns would start singing and dancing. Over time, they were taken out of the supermarkets, supposedly because they were constantly vandalized and also due to lack of space. The only video of them that exists today is the one we're showing here. And these photos? They are literally the only pictures left, because the rest were deleted from the internet. Thankfully, David managed to save them. Hoovleet still has animatronics today, but these clowns were completely removed and almost forgotten. David shared this story with us so we could share it with all of you. So if any of our ducks in the Netherlands has old footage of these clowns, please send it to us. We'd love to see it. Teddy Ruxpin. Here's something really neat I came across recently. I'm sure we all know Teddy Ruxpin, the tape talker animatronic toy from the 80s. But did you know that there was a giant Teddy Ruxpin animatronic at FAO Schwartz in New York City? I certainly didn't. Not much is known about this giant Teddy, unfortunately, and his current whereabouts aren't known either. However, this recently discovered clip is a wonderful look at this big fella, and it's pretty exciting to see him in action. Don't you just want to give him a big ol' hug? This Teddy would have been produced under the guidance of Worlds of Wonder, as this video was taken in 1990, before Teddy was produced by any other company. His facial proportions are also most accurate to a Worlds of Wonder Teddy, although they're still not completely accurate to the toy. If anyone knows anything more about this giant Teddy, feel free to let us know. Confederate Critter Show. This show is pretty controversial, and I'm only covering it because it's basically the show that made the Rock-afire explosion possible. Let me explain the context. Before the Rock-afire explosion existed, Aaron Fechter was pitching different animatronic shows to investors and park owners. This caught the attention of Magic World Park in Pigeon Forge. They wanted a country-style character, kind of like the ones in Country Bear Jamboree. So Aaron created a character called Friendly Freddy. Later, they added more characters and turned it into the Confederate Critter Show, a parody band that made fun of those Confederates who couldn't get over losing the Civil War. There was even a live actor on stage dressed as a Union Army soldier. The show was already pretty weird, and over time the animatronics started to fall apart. When the show finally closed, the characters looked really creepy. Magic World closed for good in 1996. The animatronics were then sold to the owner of Celebrity Golf, and they stayed there for about a year, but after that, they disappeared completely. There's no footage of them at Celebrity Golf, and only this one video of their original show survives. But thanks to this band, Aaron Fechter was able to grow creative engineering and eventually create the Rock-afire explosion. Colonel Casey. This is a really strange lost media case. The animatronic you're seeing here is Colonel Casey, a stork that looks after newborns at Babyland General, the Cabbage Patch Kids hospital in Cleveland, Georgia, where Cabbage Patch Kids are born. He was placed there in the 90s, and here's why this case is so weird. The animatronic is still there, but it's still considered lost media. Why? Because no one has a video of Colonel Casey moving. There is zero footage online of him in action. The animatronic was in operation for many years, but eventually it became too expensive to maintain, so they decided to turn him off permanently. For a long time, nobody even knew who built him, but recently it was discovered that he was produced by Advanced Animations. Today, the animatronic is still sitting in the same spot, but if you look closely, you can see he's starting to wear down and look pretty creepy. So please, if anyone out there has footage of this animatronic working, help bring it back and restore his legacy. And that's all for today. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. And if you made it all the way to the end, comment Part 4 and we'll make it happen.